This talk is mostly in reference to new people around you. For example, if you are a newly wed girl or a guy and are associating with a family, that is, in-laws who are new to you, or if you have recently joined a new workplace, or if you have moved into a new neighborhood, there is always that one person who we think is not gelling well with us. This is not about someone whom you already know well, because if you already know someone and that person is now not behaving well with you, that's a separate topic altogether. You know what I mean by attitude here. It's that cold shoulder or unfriendliness or that person just showing like as if they're greater or superior to you. Maybe someone doesn't smile at you by himself or cuts you through the corridor while walking and not even know that you exist. It's negative attitude. I'll just use the word attitude for ease of talk. We end up creating the energy of fear within ourselves because of such people. This is usually the fear of the loss of one's identity, and the detailed description of this fear is out of the scope of this talk. Maybe I'll talk about it later in the future. First and foremost, we are not sure if someone else is actually showing us an attitude or not. If you think that someone is showing you attitude, it is highly likely that the other person is suffering from a low self-esteem or is too shy himself but not showing it. It is also highly likely that the person is presently going through a rough phase in his life due to which he or she is not talking to you. These are some of the core reasons why people behave in the way they do. The second most important thing to understand here is that let's assume that someone is actually unfriendly and cold and does not smile at you or thank you when you open the door for them, or does not behave quite warm or friendly for you when you're newly meeting them. But who would do such a thing? Can you think about it? Will someone who is completely happy and content in his or her life be unfriendly towards a stranger? Never. A happy and friendly person is always extra cheerful and friendly towards strangers, and there are many examples of such people you'll see around. So even if someone may not be going through a particular phase or situation in his or her life, now I'll just use the word his so that it will be easy for me to speak. Majority of the people in the world today are not as happy as they can be or should be. They are not as happy as they think they are. I'm talking about unconditional happiness here. Today, everyone has everything in life. Money, recognition, assets, comfort, luxury, and a partner as well. But because they are conditionally focused on all of it, because they are not aware of the importance of unconditionalness in life, somewhere they have trapped themselves in the vicious cycles of conditional living. No denying that they have favorable conditions around them to make them happy as well. But the phenomenon of conditional living itself has a basic flaw in it in terms of uncertainty, fear of loss, desperation, frustration, or a lackful approach towards everything. Sounds simplistic, but that itself is the key. Understanding this itself is the secret to a truly happy and satisfying life. So, even though unnecessary, if you do your little research to find out that the person is indeed unfriendly and rude and showing you attitude, understand all the reasons I just spoke, and that person's bad attitude will become a bit more understandable to you. Understand the person instead of unnecessarily creating preconceived negative notions about someone else in your mind. Just think a few thoughts of understanding and stop there. Now, how to deal with this situation and such people is the important question. Understanding someone is one thing, and a very important and I would say a mandatory step in such situations. But you cannot be a doormat to someone, right? And unnecessarily be over sweet to them. That's not what spirituality is. That's not what positive thinking is. That's not what unconditional love is. Unconditional love, as I have always said, is not going to someone who is not being good to you and still expressing your love towards him in any form. Unconditional love means being a loving person yourself anyway, in any situation. And that's the key and answer to this situation. If you have read my article on how relationships work on my website, the link to which is available in the description of this YouTube video, on a little bit of rereading, thinking deeply on the content written, you may have understood that every single person who comes across you is by the virtue of the law of attraction and based only on the energy you carry within. The Soulmate article on my website, the link to which is also available in the description of this YouTube video, in fact says that every single person you interact with is your soulmate. Now, these interactions could be verbal or any other physical interactions or mental interactions as well. Let's remember, you are also mentally interacting with this person who you think is showing you attitude. For your relief, for a second, let's assume that you are sure that this person is actually showing you attitude, and now let's discuss further. You are thinking way too much about him than you should. Do you realize what you are doing to yourself in the process? Remember how the law of attraction works? If you are a fully positive person, there is no reason for any kind of negativity to come in your vicinity. If someone around you is being ungood to you, I love my vocabulary, that's only because of the negativity that is within you. You may be surprised on hearing that, but the fact that someone is disturbing you indicates that there is some resident negativity, resident evil as I call it, still within you. That disturbance is the negativity, and this statement is not only deep but also eye-opening. This person is indirectly pointing you to that resident negativity within you, and all that you need to do, trust me, is take the person out of the picture and get rid of that negativity within you. And once you do that, you will see the changes around you for sure. That person whom you are sure is showing you attitude will either change, or you will end up befriending him, or he will go away from you completely, depending on whether he is actually negative or not. Now let me elaborate that. If he is actually a negative person, if you get rid of this trait from within you and change yourself, you will obviously become a positive person, and such a person will not be around you anymore. That's exactly how the law of attraction works. If he was only temporarily negative during those first few interactions, he will come back to his natural positivity and friendliness and become your friend. Or in case he had some negative preconceived notion about you, he'll correct it at his own end and come back to you. Now these are just the three most important possibilities that I am talking about here. But there are certainly more possibilities in such a situation. In any case, you will end up being thankful to this person for him having shown you your negativity indirectly. Your job is not to think of the outcome here at all. Your job, which is not really a job as such, is only to check your thoughts, feelings and beliefs. If something outside makes you feel negative, it's not that thing making you feel negative as much as it is the indicator of your negativity within. Yes, that thing outside may be hardcore negative as well, but as my other life tip goes, the only negativity that makes you feel bad is that which is within you. So, you see, it's actually very easy to handle such situations. The best part of this, which is my most favorite part, is that you don't need to deliberately go to that person or forcefully try to befriend him or be very good, over sweet with him and change your equation from negative to positive by such external means. Because if such a thing were mandatory, this would involve the other person, and there is no guarantee that the other person would take positive steps towards this as well. There are two reasons why you do not need to go to the other person and deliberately make those external efforts. Firstly, you are not aware of what's going on within him, and you will never be aware of that as well. Second, what comes to you is completely the result of your energy, and your energy, which is the amalgamation of your thoughts and beliefs, is completely in your control. If you think it's not, this talk is gently to remind you that you can bring your thoughts and emotions completely under your control. Now, how to get rid of that negativity within you could be a very important question that you may have. So here are a few tips. First of all, Stop worrying about why this one person is not behaving well with you. Second, focus on and mentally appreciate all the other people who are being good to you. If one tire of your car gets deflated, do you go ahead and deflate all the other tires as well? Not really, right? Focus on the 9 other good things in life rather than just this one bad thing in life. Most importantly, just be yourself. And don't try to forcefully be over nice and over sweet to anyone in this world. Because each time you do that, you actually carry a beam of negative energy by default. Just remember, even if someone is indeed showing you an attitude, it has got nothing to do with you, really. It's just a problem with that person. And this entire talk can be summed up in this one line that I just said. This video, in fact, should have been just that one line long.